Double Conquering Mega Eagle. Very excited today. Yeah, this is going to be the first of the pre-production parangs. For Operation PPP. So the whole point of doing this this particular knife is to explore the possibilities of putting something like this into production, I suppose. You'll notice it's not long since I did a parang. That one went to Trader Joe because he won the TCME sticker competition. I never really played around with that one before it went, but really liked it. So I wanted another parang for myself, and I really like to sort of batch produce these things and flog them, make a bit of money in that. What I'm doing here is I'm using a stock size of 01 tool steel, and before it went in the forge I took a template. So it's basically like recording my recipe, you know, like I suppose a cook would do when he's inventing a new dish. But this isn't a new dish. It's just if this one turns out nicely and I want to make a few more of them, then I've already got a pattern to cut the blank out before it goes in the forge. Just a really simple bit of forging required on these parangs, because they sort of form themselves, you know. When you start beveling the blade edge, it bananas itself into that beautiful shape, and then putting a little bit of contour on the handles, no problem at all. Here I am making a second pattern, so this is what it should look like after it's been forged, basically. And then if I want to change anything, I can go to whichever step I need to and alter it from there, so that the previous steps will be the same. There's a lot of benefits I'm sure you appreciate if I'm going to make a few of these to get everything sort of similar. It means I can cut all the blanks out in one go. I can make my templates out of steel, so I can offer the forging up to it whilst it's still hot, so I don't have to wait for things to cool down and that, you know. This belt grinder is absolutely awesome. I know a few people questioned my choice of belt grinder, because it's not the normal thing to use when you're making knives and that, but truth is I do so much more in my shed than just make knives and that, you know. Like, I can sharpen my pencil on this and all sorts, you know. Like, it's great for lighting matches and that actually as well. But either way, like bigger blades, this thing's awesome because it's got so much power. 3.5 kilowatt. It's like 4 horsepower. And it's the long forge that's also getting made. Works pretty well. Doesn't hold a lot of coal, which might be an issue when I'm making a few of these in a row, because the whole idea was I'll do one and the next and the next and the next, get them all going through their batch stages at the same time. But if there's not that big a capacity for coal, it's not something I thought through really. So the thing will burn out within an hour, I suppose. And if it's going to take me, we're going to do 10 blades, it's going to take me quite a long time to heat treat them all, you know. It takes 5 minutes for each one to warm up, I suppose, but I could get that far hotter anyway. Back on the belt grinder with a finer grit here, and I'm knocking out some scales. I'm not sure what timber to use if I was going to put these into production. Like, obviously the ultimate's always black walnut for something like this anyway. I always think, like, you know, something nice and dark suits a parang, because that's probably what like traditional parangs are going to be handled with. It looks nice on a dirty forged blade as well, I think. Like, just a couple of scales going on here. I did try and make mosaic pins. I haven't shown any close-ups of them. They're a bit experimental, and I've got no intention of using mosaic pins on a production blade. It's just I wanted to have a little play. Rather than using epoxy, I used solder. You know, A, because I'm impatient, and B, because no one else has done it and I want to see what it's like. But it was rubbish, so I haven't put it on the video. This clamp's coming off. Yeah, probably need to file that down a bit, you know. Can't even get monstrous meat hooks around that. High speed sanding. Jesus Christ, that guy's fast, eh? Ooh. the oil's going on, that's always my favourite bit of the handling process, you know. Setting that oil touches the scales, it's a special moment, isn't it, you know. I got this leather off eBay. It's maybe London tan, sold as veg tan leather, but it's not. It's been coated with something, you know. It's almost like it's got a PVC coating on the outside of the leather. It's not even a nice colour. I was expecting something really traditional and sort of oaky. When someone says a London tan, you want something nice looking. Hey, the saddler's knife works really well, by the way. That's the last video I did. Really sweet little blade. You saw how sharp it was there. I could just drag the leather through it backwards, you know. We're just putting some solid rivets in on the strap. Like, this is the other reason I really wanted to do this sort of pre-production knife is Joe had a little problem with his parang when I sent it to him in the States, you know, the way I put the sheath together, it meant if you pulled on the handle of the parang the wrong way, it actually cut the sheath open, and Joe, God bless him, ended up slitting his thumb open. Like, he's obviously a cool guy because he's not trying to sue me or anything. Just sent me a really nice note, like, explaining what had happened. Cheers Joe, for being cool, and also thanks for the feedback, because you know, it's an opportunity to improve things and come up with a completely different design of sheath. So I don't think you really want a parang hanging from your belt anyway. It's a bit too big for that, really, isn't it? So the idea here is to put a strap on and you can wear it like a satchel almost. Put a buckle in the strap as well, but we're going to come to that anyway. It's just me sticking the two halves of the weird eBay leather together. Again, I wouldn't use this in production. Oh my days! This is my new little beauty. I actually have it quite a while now. It's a Chinese cobbler's sewing machine. Gorgeous. It's hideous but gorgeous at the same time. I won't tell you too much about it now because I was planning on doing a little video on it, you know. It's really fun to use. No motor, obviously hand cranked and that, and it goes through quite thick leather. Can't cope with two thicknesses of, you know, the heavy veg tan, but it goes through this light stuff all right. And I've used it to fix a tent, a couple of other bits and pieces that I've done with it. Just enjoying playing with it, but it's taken a little while to get a hang of it, I suppose. I've used sewing machines before actually, but like normally you can just concentrate on sewing and not cranking, and bits tend to fall off this thing, you know. It's not particularly nice when it comes from the factory, but it works, hey. And it does a fairly good job on this sheath anyway. Good strong stitching. All the levers in the wrong place and that, isn't it? It's got a little beveling tool for taking the corners off the sheath now. The leather work I'm finding so satisfying at the minute, you know. It's like such a calming material to work with. There's nothing noisy about it. It's not like, you know, if you're setting you want to do something with a lump of metal, it's all splitting eardrums and sparks flying around, like, which is great. It's all fun and that. Like, maybe I'm getting old because I just enjoy the peace and quiet with the leather work and that, you know. And like when the kids have gone to bed, I can just do it on the kitchen table. Like, it's all all nice and peaceful. House is peaceful. I'm peaceful. Just bugging around with bits of leather and that, you know. Like, everything about it's just like really rewarding as well. You know, it changes from a pale bit of leather to like the finished product and that. Like, there's Rambo, for anyone who hasn't met him, the dog. He's this handsome devil. Yeah. Blade works nicely. It wasn't really about the blade itself, it was more about making the blade. Same with the sheath, just seeing how the sheath operates, and I'll try and use this as much as I can, you know, around the garden and get out a few trips of it and that, and see how that sheath behaves itself, really. That's what I want to know. and other people do them like this. It's just whether or not I want to do it like this, if I'm going to make a product that I'm going to sell in limited numbers. Little buckle that I put on there with a rivet on the back of it. Slips in and out nicely. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Till next time, take it easy, folks, and I'll see you later. Like and subscribe if you ain't done already. Alright, cheers. Bye bye, folks.